David, are we anywhere near a quorum?
I did 24. No. I doubt it. We need some more, I'm sure. Good evening, everybody. We're going to start in a minute or so. We're just letting people still show up. Okay. Okay. It's 7:05 and I'm going to get the show going. Good evening, everybody. I'm David Goldstein with Total Community Management. I would like to welcome you all to the annual meeting for the Marina Pointe Condominium 1, 2, and the HOA. We will be providing you with some updates this evening, as well as answering your questions that have been pre-submitted, as well as opening up the floor and microphones for any questions or comments at the end of the question and answer session. We're going to start tonight's meeting by calling a roll to determine if we have the required quorum. As I'm calling the roll, I'll be unmuting everybody during the roll's call. So I will ask, sorry, my cell phone's ringing. So I'll be unmuting everyone during the roll call so that person whose name is called can respond if they are present or not. Please do not speak to each other while I'm conducting the roll call, as I will not be able to hear the homeowner's responses.
Here.
I'm unmuting everybody if you'd like, so you can respond, would be great. Okay, I'm going to be calling the roll, the unit order sequence, and I would appreciate it if you could say present when I call your unit number and name. Unit number 111, Rayo and Vega, are you present? Unit number 112, James, submitted a proxy, so they're going to be considered here. Unit 121, Mackenzie, not here. Unit 122, Kaplan Karamoy, not here. Unit 131, Makvana. Unit 132, Spado. No response. Unit 141, Lamb or Fazone. Unit 142, Palazzo. Unit 151, Pang. Unit 152, Lilo. Did somebody say here on Lilo? 211, Santillo or Dayton. 212, Sony, S-O-N-I. 213, Beechwood, present. 214, Regal. 214, did Rachel Regal say present? 215, DeSano is here by proxy. 216, Pizzello. 217, Icavona. 218, Siegel.
Present.
Present, thank you. 221, Stanislavski. No, I saw his name. She's still present, right? Thank you.
Yes.
222, Porty. U20, Unit 223, Torres is present by proxy. Unit 224, Palazzo. Unit 225, Silicata. Unit 226, Erdich. Unit 227, Shephers, present by proxy. Unit 228, Fusco or Condon. Unit 231, Delgado.
Present.
Thank you. Unit 232, Lopez or Zumpano.
Present.
Thank you. Unit 233, Mazza.
Present.
Thank you. Unit 234, Beechwood, present. Unit 235, Mafucci.
Present.
Unit 236, Lizzer.
Present.
Thank you. Unit 237, Blumenstock. Unit 238, Hirsch. Unit 311, Baldwin. Unit 312, Estafa.
Okay, friends, us.
Unit 321, Teleska or Dello.
Present.
Thank you. Unit,
Welcome.
Unit 322, No Luvelli. Unit 331, Gonzalez. Unit 332, Parisi or Brenna. Unit 341, Usman. Unit 342, Murley.
President.
Murley is present, thank you. Unit 351, Five Town Holding, Amir Hassan. Unit 352, Rogers.
I'm not gonna let them see me so I can eat.
Unit 361, Zhang.
I don't know.
Somebody's talking in the background. We would appreciate it if you didn't do so. 362, Howard. No, that concludes condo 1. 15 has 15 by present and proxy. To have a quorum, we needed 24, so we do not have a quorum for condo 1. For condo 2, I'll call the roll. Unit 411, Jennings. Unit 412, Karamikian. Unit 421, Lavin, present by proxy. Unit 422, Schwartz or Shankman. Unit 431, Kim or Chang. Unit 432, McMullen. Unit 441, Locasio.
Present.
Thank you. Unit 442, Anagnos, Anagno. Unit 511, Croson.
Present.
Thank you. Unit 512, DeAngelis.
Present.
Unit 513, Papa. Unit 514, Guardino or Scordato.
Present.
Unit 515, Bicu Mandala. Unit 516, Lung. Unit 521, Beechwood, present. Unit 522, Greco. Unit 523, Semensky.
Present.
Thank you. Unit 524, Greenberg.
Present.
Present. Unit 525, Beechwood, present. Unit 526, Beechwood, present. Unit 531, McFadden. Unit 532, Mirabella. Unit 532, Meltzer. Unit 534, Kraus. Unit 535, Beechwood, present.
Present.
536, Schlitt or McCaffrey.
Present.
Unit 611, Mankada or Chung.
Present.
Unit 612, Rowe.
Present.
Okay, gotcha, present, thank you. Unit 16, Beechwood, present. Unit 614, Beechwood, present. Unit 621, Carello. Unit 622, Palinko. Unit 623, Beechwood, present. Unit 624, Beechwood, present. Unit 631, Mintz. Unit 632, Elkinyuk. Unit 633, Lee or you. Unit 634, Beechwood. That concludes that one. I'm going to count up. For condo 2, we have 20 units present by either proxy or in the room, and we needed 20 for a quorum, so we do have a quorum for condo 2. As far as that goes, we're good. For the 20 here, and 15 is 35. We don't have a quorum for the HOA.
612.
Anyone in the waiting room?
I've counted that twice.
Okay, so we don't have a quorum. We're going to go on with the business. Although this will not be what's known as an official meeting because we do not have a quorum. Okay, concluded that. Here with us this evening are the Condo 1 board members, Michael Adler from the sponsor organization, and Rob Rocco, also from the sponsoring organization. Condo 2 board members, Michael Adler and Robert Rocco again, and Tony DeAngelis, who serves on the Condo 2 board as well as the HOA board. Also present this evening for the HOA board, Michael Adler, Robert Rocco. Barry Lenson is not present, Tony DeAngelis, and that's the HOA board. Proof of notice of the meeting. An email was sent out to the community on February 6, 2024 at 9:48 a.m. announcing the date of the annual meeting of March 13, 2024, and requesting candidates to fill a board of directors seat and a board of managers condo 1 seat. The email noted that you must submit a notice of intent form, which was supplied in the email by Friday, February 23rd, 2024 by 4 p.m. It further stated in bold letters and underlined, no nominations will be accepted after February 23rd, 2024 at 4 p.m. or from the floor on the night of the annual meeting. The board agreed to this stipulation as if there were multiple candidates running for his position. There would be sufficient time to schedule a meet the candidates night before the required annual meeting date. Unfortunately, no one submitted their intent to run until early March, which was after significantly past the deadline. The official notice was mailed and emailed to all the homeowners on March 4th, 2024, noting that the meeting would be held tonight, March 13th, 2024 at 7 p.m. The next item on the agenda this evening will be the reading of the minutes from the annual meeting of March 13th, 2023. And I will do that now. Present at that meeting were Michael Adler, Barry Lenson, Robert Rocco, myself, Pam San Giorgio, and Tony DeAngelis. The meetings were called to order at 7:05 p.m. via Zoom. David Goldstein conducted the roll call and confirmed there was a quorum. David Goldstein informed the community that the official notice of the meeting was sent out in accordance with the terms of the offering plan, and a quorum was met for the annual meeting of Marina Pointe Homeowners Association, Condo 1 and Condo 2. TCM informed the residents that the questions submitted by residents in advance of the meeting will be responded to at the conclusion of the annual meetings. David Goldstein read the minutes of the February 28th, 2022 annual meetings of Marina Pointe Homeowners Association, Condo 1 and Condo 2. David Goldstein stated that Nicholas Fusco has resigned from his board of directors position effective March 13th, 2013. David Goldstein, on behalf of the board of directors, thank homeowner Nick Fusco for his time and service he spent serving on the board of directors of the Homeowners Association and board of managers of Condo 1. David Goldstein noted that there were no nominations for the now vacated Condominium 1 position. David noted that if any Condominium 1 homeowners are interested in the position, they should contact Pam San Giorgio. David Goldstein stated there were 2 homeowners running for the board of directors position that was vacated by Nicholas Fusco. An election will take place for this position. David Goldstein introduced Sean Milanese and Nicholas Carello, who were each given time to address the community. David Goldstein noted that the online voting is open and the homeowners will have until 11 p.m. on March 13th, 2023 to cast their online vote, and the result of the election will be announced via email. The results of the election were announced via email and posted on the website, confirming that Sean Milanese was elected to the board of directors. Responses to previously submitted questions were conveyed to the community, and the meeting was adjourned at 7:56 p.m. Okay. There will be no report of officers this evening, no committee reports, and no need to elect inspectors of election as there are no elections being held this evening. At this time, I'd like to introduce Michael Adler, the HOA president and sponsor board member.
Thank you, David. Hello, everybody. Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, as David said, I'm Mike Adler. I serve on the Marina Pointe board, and I'm also vice president of operations at Beechwood Homes, who happens to be the sponsor of Marina Pointe. Before I turn the microphone over to President Board Member Tony DeAngelis, I wanted to just take a moment to update you on the Bulkhead. As many of you know, and maybe you don't, maybe you just moved in recently, The bulkhead wall experienced some issues in the early years of Marina Pointe. At that time, the sponsor, Beechwood Homes, committed to not only hiring an engineer and having the bulkhead repaired, but also agreed to give the HOA a 10-year warranty on that bulkhead. Around, to benefit the Marina Pointe community, the sponsor decided not to immediately issue the 10-year warranty, but also chose to make the repairs first and then start the clock on the 10-year warranty. This only benefits the community, of course. Around the time period of 2018, 2019, the sponsor hired an engineer and contractors to have the bulkhead properly repaired. The sponsor received a certification from the engineer confirming the repairs were made and the bulkhead was noted to be structurally sound. In 2020, as you all know, COVID hit, which we don't need to go into the impact that had on the world, but things didn't move along very quickly at that time. When things settled down, we noticed that some of the crushed bluestone that's on the walkway along the bulkhead was washing away during heavy rainstorms. It's not a structural issue. Please, I'll say it again. It's not a structural issue with the bulkhead, but nonetheless, the sponsor wanted to correct this issue before starting the 10-year warranty. Again, this only benefited the community because we didn't start the clock on the warranty. It was determined that some of the crushed stones getting through very small holes in the big piles that support the wall. Since that time, the sponsor has had these holes repaired by physically going in a boat on the water side, obviously, and sealing the batter piles. These repairs were completed last fall, and then we waited several heavy rainstorms to make sure that repairs were successful, and they did in fact find that they were, for the most part, very successful. The sponsor therefore put the 10-year warranty into effective as of January 1st, 2024. So Marina Pointe HOA will have the sponsor warranty through December 31st, 2023. And we will note this as well in the minutes of tonight's meeting. That is the update on the bulkhead. And we will now hand it over to Tony, who I believe wants to give you an update as well.
As you noticed, there's some construction going on behind buildings 5 and 6, construction on the old Real restaurant. By way of background, for those of you who may not have been here, we've had a number of issues with noise going back to 2018, 2019, 2000. We had a number of discussions with the old owners. There was a possibility that we would have to go to litigation, but as be it, the Real went bankrupt. A friend of mine, Danny Quinn, reached out to me about 4 or 5 months ago. And Danny's a co-owner of the new restaurant, which is going to be called James in Maine. And he showed me the plans. We discussed, he wanted to get an understanding of some of the issues we had with the old Real. And bottom line is, this is not going to be a Real type restaurant. It's going to be a higher class restaurant. There's not going to be any bands or DJs. So I don't expect us to have the issues that we had with the Real relating to the noise. I think Danny said the estimated opening date would be sometime in May. And what he described to me, and he described the menu to me, it's going to be a pretty high-end restaurant. That's it.
Great, thanks, Tony. That's a good update. Okay, David, you're gonna take it from here with Q&A.
Okay, thank you, Tony. At this time, I'm going to go on to the questions that were previously submitted, and we'll give you the answers to those. At the conclusion of these previously submitted questions, we will open the floor to questions. First set of questions came in from Justin Mazur at unit number 233. First question was, carpet is coming up throughout the building. Sovereign Carpet is scheduled to make the required repairs starting at the end of March, beginning of April, and you'll be notified by Pam via constant contact with the schedule of the repairs, which will include all three buildings, building 2, 5, and 6, the hallways, the stairway landings, on all the floors. The paint that has been throughout the parking area for months. Unfortunately, we could not clean up that paint during the winter. We will have it power washed as soon as possible. Now that the weather is getting nicer, it will be done. Please note that if you have paint cans that you have to dispose of, that when you put them out, there should be no liquid paint in the can. Prior to putting it out, you should leave the lid off the can and keep it in your unit in an area where it will not get tipped over, and allow the paint to dry up before putting the can out for collection. There are products available on Amazon, for example, where you can buy paint hardener that you can put into the can so you can add it to any leftover paint and it will dry up much faster, and then you can disregard the can. The reason we're cautioning about that, that paint that's out there is the result of somebody disposing of paint in a can that was not dried up. Next question. The request of a mail sign that comes out from the building that notes where mail and packages should be dropped off in the room to help drivers understand. We are going to have signs installed to designate that mail and packages are to be placed in the entrance vestibules. Next set of questions comes from Rose Croson in Unit 511. Is there anything that can be done about the trash cubicle outside Building 5? I thought some kind of cover was discussed, so those overlooking it did not have to look at it. Many days there is garbage blowing around the parking lots, the buildings, and the waterfront. Will there ever be anyone on the site to handle this? The response to that is that there is no plan to install an awning over the dumpsters enclosures. The cleaning company maintains the dumpsters on a weekly basis. It may pay to have them come more frequently during busy times such as Christmas and other holiday weeks. If you as a homeowner note there is a problem there, please call Pam and she can dispatch the cleaning crew off their regular schedule to do additional cleaning. Next question from Rose. Will the reference room and stairwells ever be painted? Also, many apartment doors and moldings need to be painted. The response to that is we will be getting proposal for the board's consideration and review for the painting that you have outlined. Building 5 butterfly replacement. The butterfly system on Building 5 has been temporarily replaced while we are obtaining a permanent replacement unit, which should be very shortly, and then that permanent unit will be installed. Next set of questions are from Judy and Martin Greenberg, apartment 524. Is there any way to install an awning near the elevator entrance to Building 5? Guests and vendors have trouble finding the way in. And the response to that is, as discussed earlier, a sign will be posted to draw delivery people's and visitors' attention to the entrance vestibule. Will the dead shrubbery along Atlantic Avenue be replaced? The dead shrubs are being removed, and they died due to Atlantic Avenue flooding. Because of that, the shrubs will not be replaced. Bluestone will be installed over the area. This work will be done end of March, beginning of April. If at some point the county addresses the flooding issue on that area, replacement of the shrubs can be considered. This work was budgeted for in the current year's budget. Are you planning on, next question, are you planning to restripe the lines and arrows in the entrance from Atlantic into the development? Response to that is, the current striping and lines within the development will be assessed and will be redone as necessary. Next questions come in from Nancy Mafucci of Unit 217. Would you look into whether the elevator lobby can be painted? It appears to be in desperate need of it. As noted earlier, we will get proposal for the board's consideration and review for the painting. Next question, why are these meetings still held via Zoom? Surely we can hold future meetings in person as we did in 2018 and 2019. Response to that is, since COVID, meetings of this nature are held very frequently via Zoom. It is an efficient method of holding open meetings, but the board can consider having in-person meetings if they wish to do so and the community wishes to do so. Next questions come from Linda Delgado. I don't have her unit number, I'm sorry. The elevator carpet in building 2 is dirty, dingy, and should replace. It's been 6+ years in a high traffic area. The condition of the elevator carpeting in building 2 will be assessed and appropriate action taken. Status of the damaged carpet, as previously assessed, the repair work on that is going to start at the end of March and run into the beginning of April. Next question, removal of white paint that's in the entrance and inside the parking area. Same response, we will be having that cleaned up now that the weather has changed. Status to replace the dead trees facing Atlantic. As we said earlier, those will be removed and bluestone will be put in over the area. Annual meeting format is the next question. For maximum efficiency, there needs to be interactive. A question and answer at the end of the meeting isn't too much to ask. The response to that, we believe you are correct, and we will be opening the floor to the homeowners at the conclusion of the submitted question for anyone to ask any question. We ask for questions in advance so answers can be researched prior to the meeting. But again, we will be opening the floor to those who have additional questions or comments. When will the building be power washed? That's the next question. When will the building be power washed? The front of building 2, closest to the train, is dirty, dingy looking. TCM will be obtaining proposal for the power washing for the board's consideration and possible inclusion in future budget. Please note, power washing on these buildings is difficult due to the access issues, which is the height and what's next to the building. This concludes all of the submitted questions. If you have a question or comment that you would like to bring up now, please raise your hand using the raise your hand function of Zoom, or if you are on video, you can hold up your hand like that and we'll see you, recognize you, and unmute your mic. The first hand up I see is Diana Brennan, I believe.
Aubrey Siegel.
Yeah, it's a little hard to, I see.
There's Aubrey Siegel and Diana Brennan.
I can't tell who's who. Nancy, I'm gonna go to Nancy first, it looks like. Nancy, you have your hand up?
Right, but Aubrey Siegel has had her hand up since the beginning of the meeting, so I'll yield to her.
Okay, so you yield to Aubrey?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Aubrey, the floor is yours.
It was just, I want to let you know Rachel was trying to get online next door to me, so that was why I raised my hand first. And then we just had a question too, so I did want to let you know that somebody in our building was trying to get on.
Okay, thank you very much. I was watching that.
I do have a secondary follow-up on that. And due to the recent rates and high crime, I was thinking about installing front gates in front of the community. I would like to know what the cost of that is and the thoughts by the members of the community on participating in installing a front gate due to the unfortunate recent rates in crime and stolen catalytic converters across the street, people breaking into homes, et cetera, et cetera. So I would like to get the board to get a proposal on an installation of a automated gate for everybody, and just to provide additional security. I think it would raise everybody's home value up, and it would increase everybody's quality of life in the facility. I mean, it's one of those things, like, you can just walk in into this community, right in from across the street. We got a train station across the street, we got a supermarket across the street, and we got tons of people walking up and down Atlantic Avenue constantly. And there's really no security here. I mean, yeah, you can't get into your house, but they'll steal your car, no problem. They'll steal your catalytic converter, no problem. So I think it's something that everybody should think about and be, I'm more than willing to put a few dollars into getting that done in this community. And I think it's something that's very important and should be thought about. So I'd like to see if this board could get a proposal on installing a front gate, security gate, where all of us have either a, whatever, push button access, whatever it is to get into the community. But I don't think people should be able to walk into this community from the street. I don't think people should be able to drive into this community. I don't think any of that should be happening, and it's happening every day here. There was a recent assault down the block at Ace Hardware where a woman was ripped out of her car, just shopping. And there's a lot of elderly people here. There's a lot of people. I don't think it's secure here at all. So I'd like to see if the board come up with a proposal to install a front gate to secure the facility.
Okay, we've noted that, and I'm sure the board will have us go out and get proposals and see what's feasible to do. Thank you all. Okay. Diana Brennan has her hand up. Diana, you got to unmute if you want to talk.
Yeah. Hi, this is Carmine Parisi. I'm with Diana Brenner. And my comment is really a general comment, and Pam's been terrific in trying to help us as much as she can. But it seems like she doesn't necessarily have the resources to service us the way we should for what we pay for these units. And in fact, the power washing that you brought up and the fact that it is difficult, that seems to be a mentality, whether it's intentional or not, and I don't think it is intentional, that it's hard to do. So we have to consider that. But based on what we pay for these units and what we have here, when you walk through, stuff is disgusting when you look at the buildings. You walk up the front steps, it's really something that should be either automatically included or allowed for in the budget. And in fact, too, we have nobody here to help maintain this place. You have supers elsewhere, from what I understand, but we don't have anyone here that's dedicated to do the odds and ends. So it's always something that we contact Pam, she does the best she can, but it doesn't always happen as quickly as we'd like it to happen.
So what you're thinking is, this is Tony, what you're thinking is having somebody on site on a regular basis?
Well, I don't know if it has to be a regular basis, it has to be rotational, but the thing with the power washing, I had heard that it was supposed to be done last year, but then it wasn't in the budget. So if it's something that we know is reoccurring, because it really is we're in 332, and you walk up our steps, it's just disgusting. It's not something that, for the type of community we're in, that it should be maintained better than that, in my opinion.
Yeah, the power washing has been an issue, especially for the higher floors. But we discovered today that there's a power washing company that uses drones to get to the higher areas. So that's something we're going to look into.
Yeah, and the other thing with the garbage too, I don't know if there needs to be more pickup scheduled, but really it's a shambles when they pick up the garbage by the front entrance. I mean, you really, it's just like garbage just seems to be strewn all over the place. And I don't know if someone needs to speak to the contractor, or we're not getting enough pickups. It's really, I don't know what the answer is, but it's unsightly when it happens. So that's it, I'm done, that's my comments.
Okay, thank you, and we've noted your comments, and we'll try to get some better responses for you on them.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm just going, Susanna?
Yes, hi, Susanna here from Building 6. Just wondering, can we revisit what's been happening, any updates on the proposed walkway that we can get from like the giant patch of grass that's like right outside of 6, like the egret for fire department where the gate is. I think there was a proposal to like do like a little walkway, just like what building 2 has, going out towards the street. I don't know if there was any progress or if it was ever discussed after.
Yeah, thank you, Susanna. You're absolutely right. We are committed, the sponsor is committed to doing it. The issue that we've been having is there's no opening in the gate area like there is by building 2 that allowed pedestrians to leave and, come and go through that area. So the fire department is very particular about what the gates need to be and how they need to, be tied together so they can break them. That is an emergency access road that the fire department would need to access. So we're trying to figure out a way. It possibly may be that if we're allowed to, we move the gates actually like a little bit closer to Atlantic Avenue, which is what we're currently exploring. So that if we were able to do that, people can leave either out of both sides of that area. So unfortunately, it's taking more time than we had hoped for. You're absolutely right. We are committed though to doing it.
Michael, you would say ultimately we've got to get approval from the fire department, correct?
Yeah, so we have to make sure that they're okay with that, with what we're doing.
Okay.
Bob Croson's next.
Okay, Robert Croson.
First.
Thank you. Somebody said earlier that an engineer has certified the structural integrity of the bulkhead. Is that correct?
Yes.
And who was that engineer?
I don't have it in front of me, but I'm happy to give it to the board. They'll disseminate it any way they want.
And can we see a copy of that certification report?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I just said. We're going to get it to the board. And they'll be able to get it to whoever.
So it's certified, and you said only recently this warranty was put in place because it's for the benefit of the homeowners of this community. Who underwrote that warranty?
That warranty is issued by the sponsor to the homeowners association.
And what's it guaranteed by? What's the insurance contract that gets paid out if the bulkhead fails? It'll cost about $15 million. Has any reserve been set aside for that? Or any insurance contract?
Robert, the question, if there's any issue over the next 10 years, the sponsor will get the call, and we are guaranteeing we will go back and take care of any problem.
What if Beechwood goes bankrupt?
We're very confident that the repairs.
What if Beechwood goes bankrupt?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
What if Beechwood goes bankrupt?
Beechwood's not going bankrupt. We've been.
You still have to answer the question, Mike. What's going to guarantee that the bulkhead would be repaired in the case of a minor or catastrophic failure?
Okay, Robert, I'm not going back and forth with you. So if you have another question, feel free to ask it.
So in other words, there's absolutely no substance to this warranty other than your word. There's no substance, there's no guarantee, there's no resources, there's no assets set aside in the event that the bulkhead fails. A warranty.
No different than any of the other guarantees you receive when you buy with the sponsor.
Okay. No, it's not. The guarantees you gave us and the warranties you gave us when we bought ran out already. Okay. They were backed up by the vendors who had to replace them.
Incorrect.
Okay.
The ultimate goes to the sponsor.
Fine. Let's agree to disagree. The question is, if the sponsor goes bankrupt, or if the bulkhead fails, who pays for the repair? Now, in a warranty of this type, you are usually required to get somebody to underwrite it in the event that the sponsor does go bankrupt. So I think the whole community needs some reassurance that if and when this happens, that the monies have been set aside in a bond, an insurance policy of something like that to ensure that we are restored.
Okay, that's not the way the warranty works, and it's exactly like.
So send me a copy of the warranty then. Send me a copy of the warranty.
Excuse me,
Robert, if you're going to interrupt him when he's speaking, I'm going to mute you.
Whatever. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, I muted him.
You have a 1 or 2 and 6-year warranty in the offering plan. There's no bond or anything placed under any of that. Whenever there was any issue under warranty, and I know we've been making repairs even after warranty. But we do not put up a bond. We don't do anything like that. And we come and make the repairs. We're not going anywhere. We have properties that we're looking to develop all over the, Long Island and other places. We're up in upstate New York. We're in North Carolina now. Beechwood is growing. We're not going anywhere. Nobody should be concerned. We're doing the right thing. We did not put the warranty in effect for the last 6 years. We wanted to be comfortable with the repairs. It took longer than we actually did because of the COVID and the delays, but we're very comfortable with it. We have a certification. We revised the plan as it was engineered, and we're giving the community a 10-year. It's not going to expire until December 31st of 33. So you have plenty of time, and we will be there to respond if you have any concerns, which I don't think you will.
Yeah, I'm still trying to talk.
Okay, I'm going to unmute you, Robert, if you have additional comments.
Yes, I'd like to see a copy of the warranty.
Okay, you've asked that already.
Are you going to send it to me?
The response to that was that you're going to provide it to the board, and then the board members will distribute it as they want, as they see fit.
You have
My
all the
guess is
board
they're gonna
members
let
here
you have
tonight.
it,
Did
yes.
the board members commit to distributing that tonight?
Hey, Rob, it's Tony. Listen, I'll get the warranty and I'll print it out and walk it over to your apartment. Once I
Along
get
with
it.
the engineer report. Okay? Agreed? Copy of the warranty and a copy of the certification by the engineer. Agreed? Somebody?
Is that a request?
Yeah. Is that agreed to, that I'm going to get that information?
The sponsor is going to give it to the board of directors. If they choose to give it to whoever they want, that's their choice.
Okay, and Anthony has just
Let's
stated he
move on.
will provide those things to me. Is that correct?
Once I get them, Rob, I will get them to you.
Okay, how long does it take to print that out?
Probably 2 minutes once I get it.
Great. Thanks very much, guys. I have that on the record.
Thank you. Okay, Chris Split. Chris, you still there? You had your hand up?
Yeah, does the city or town have any plans to fix the flooding out front?
Does the city or town have a plan to fix the flooding out front? Not to our knowledge.
All right, that's all I have.
Okay. The next question up, it looks like Margot. Margot, please unmute.
Yeah, I want to ask, a lot of dog poop has been collecting around the community in the past month. I'm just wondering what could be done about that. It seems to have gotten worse in the last, I would say, 3 or 4 months.
We'll have to have it picked up what's there. What would help is if people would be more, the dog owners would be more considerate.
Right.
Clean up after the pets. It's been an ongoing issue since the community was built, and unfortunately it's an ongoing issue in many places that people don't take care of their pets the way they should, and they're inconsiderate. If somebody identifies to us who they are, then we give them a warning. If we get another complaint, then we can fine them. So that's the best we can do on it, unfortunately.
Can you put signs around or something? Maybe that would help. I don't know.
Well, we'll certainly take that as we'll bring that to the board and ask if they would like to have that done. Signs are certainly possible.
You know what I think we should do? Send out a constant contact to all residents, stressing the fact that they should be picking up dog poop. And we do have bags available to them.
Right.
I just think people are being, inconsiderate by not cleaning it up. So I think it's up to each individual owner to take it upon themselves to pick the
Right.
So we can send out a constant contact to reinforce that.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure, Pam
Thank you.
noted that. Okay, next hand up is Pat or Bill. I assume you're Pat? You got on mute, Pat.
Another thing with the garbage, it's not all Beechwood's faults because people just throw garbage on the floor. They don't put it in the can. Unfortunately, I live right across, so I see it.
Right.
So it's the community's fault too.
Well,
Yeah, I think you're right. It's just, people aren't considerate.
They're not. I mean, there's only so much you can do. I mean, I understand. But people have to be more considerate. I mean, I'll see the garbage man come, take the garbage, and 10 minutes later, someone's throwing a bag on the floor. The cans are empty. So I guess maybe a notice to everyone. I don't know if they're renters or homeowners. I don't know who they are exactly. Maybe just a reminder, pick up after yourself.
How about that freight station? Tell them if they have any plans to clean that up.
Thank you.
We don't have anything
No,
to do.
they know if it's down.
Oh, good money.
I ask you.
okay, I don't see any other hands up. Let me just scan through. Oh, yes, I do. Chima Fucci. The floor is yours.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to put the hand up on this.
That's all right. We read sign language.
Okay, great.
What is it?
One clarification, Michael, I believe when you were talking.
Somebody's talking over.
Michael, I believe when you were talking about the warranty, you said it would begin January 2024 and it extends 10 years out. I just want to confirm that. So that would be 2034, correct? Okay, perfect. And then the other thing that I understand, go ahead.
I'm sorry,
You have the floor.
January
Somebody
1st
is talking over you.
will run through December 31st of 2033. So
Okay,
that's an entire 10 years.
Okay, I misheard. I'm sorry. Thank you for that. And my question is really my naivete. We don't have a quorum. I don't understand what that means. And it appears that building 2 doesn't have I don't know what we don't have, but we don't have it. And how do are we in this situation until the next board meeting or the next time we meet, or can we rectify that? Can there be a representative? Can there be an additional election if people, how does that work? Because it would seem that being represented on the board is a positive. And if we missed it this time, maybe we want to do it again. And as a side note, perhaps, in-person meetings might encourage more interaction, and then we get a result. I know that in business, that's what I have found, but that's just by aside. So the question really is how we don't have representation. Are we stuck without it in building 2? How can we get it? And that's it.
Okay. Well, your first question is with regard to quorums. What quorums is, in the bylaws, it states in order to have a official meeting and hold any type of election, you have to have a quorum. A quorum means that 51% of the owners in condominium 1 are represented at the meeting. For our condo 1 meeting, 51% of the owners in condo 2 are represented for a condo 2 meeting. And then combined, 51% of all 84 are represented for the HOA in order to have elections. So if there were elections tonight, we would not have been able to have the elections for condo 1 because we didn't meet the quorum. If there was an election or any voting that were to take place for condo 2, we would have been able to do that because we did have a quorum. And combined, we didn't have a quorum for the HOA. So even if there were people running, we could not have had that election this evening because we didn't have the numbers. With regard to having another meeting, that's something that the board can consider. And if they wish to do so, they will notify the community. Okay, Nancy? Okay, thank you. Okay, I see Deanna has her hand up. Let me find her. Diana, you gotta unmute and you have the floor.
It's Carmine again. I'm sorry. I just want to go back to something, and Tony asked a question. I kind of answered a certain way, but I want to see, as far as getting somebody here on a regular basis, I don't know if it has to be permanent, but is there any way of getting a part-time person that comes by the unit? Is that something that's feasible? Or someone that can come from one of the properties on an on-call basis, perhaps? Is that something that's a possibility?
Yes, it's feasible as long as we know the board decides what they want to do. And then we include in the budget the funding of that person for the number of hours that the board wants to have them there. So it certainly is doable.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, I don't see any other hands up. Nope. Okay, I think that concludes all of the questions, and we appreciate everybody's questions and comments this evening, and we appreciate your participation in tonight's meeting, and we wish you all a good weekend coming up. And at this point, we're going to adjourn the meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you.